What is up, everyone? Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well out there. This is going to be one of those episodes where I try and cram 3 hours of news into 1 hour. And we're going to see how that goes. Why not? Why not try and make that work? There's too much. There's too much to cover, too much to talk about. I am sorry that Eleanor Goldfield is not with us today. She is traveling, doing a live show. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Let's get into it. Let's dive in quick and hard. So this, I just want to start off with, it's not the main topic, but I just want to start off with one of these videos of Code Pink accosting one of our leading sociopaths, the sociopaths at the top of the system. I always love when Code Pink happens upon one of our rulers at one of the DC restaurants where they charge $72 for a steak. I lived in DC while I was doing Redacted at Night for 8 years, and there are several of these restaurants around the White House where you have to pay, it's $30 just to look in their direction. And I don't think I ever ate in any of them, but I know they existed. And so it's normally those restaurants are the ones where Code Pink stumbles upon these lunatics. Anyway, here they are accosting. And I say that in the most positive way, accosting Scott Bessent, the secretary, the billionaire secretary of the Treasury. Absolute lunatic. Take it away, Code Pink.
We have a special guest here, and we want to make a toast for the Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent.
Oh, yeah.
So let's give it up for the man who is eating in peace as people starve across the world based on his sanctions, which are economic warfare.
Of course you're going to boo this. It's the truth.
He oversees the death of 600,000 people due to sanctions annually. And this president, let's cheers to the Monroe Doctrine. Trump today said that Venezuelan oil.
And you have no idea how ignorant you are.
Ignorant. You are responsible for the death of 600,000 people annually because of sanctions. How many people are going to die because of the blood is on your hands?
By the way, can you imagine being the... you're not surprised that the sociopath that they're yelling at is upset. But can you imagine being some of the other diners that are booing her, or like the woman here who thinks that if she turns on her phone flashlight and points it at the camera that they won't be able to record or something? I don't like, what did she think she was achieving? She's like, you know what never defeats a camera? A flashlight. Just being a lunatic. But anyway, so he goes on to try and pressure the restaurant to have people calling to him to account for the hundreds of thousands, I mean, really probably millions, that he's going to be involved in murdering over the course of his 4 years if he stays in for all 4 years. Don't mention that to me while I'm having dinner, okay? Don't mention the hundreds of thousands that I'm killing with economic warfare. Please, just don't. I'm trying to enjoy my flan. I'm trying to enjoy my tuna tartare.
The blood is on your hands. You should be ashamed.
Should not be able to eat in peace.
So he keeps complaining to the staff to try and get them kicked out. I guess what happened next is they must have stopped yelling. Like they did their presentation and then they sat back down.
So we're here at a restaurant in Washington, D.C., right before Trump is about to announce the accomplishments of this administration and what's to come. The Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, was here in this fancy restaurant as he oversees the very policies that allow for children across the world to starve to death, and over 600,000 people a year die because of economic sanctions.
So I'll wrap it up there. But apparently, so he kept complaining, despite the fact that they stopped saying anything. He kept complaining to staff, and then apparently spit when he found out that they had not kicked out the Code Pink protesters, that they were still there. He spit in his food and stormed out. Like the true snowflake he is. Okay. As I said, I'm going to go topic to topic because I'm trying to get a ton into an hour here. Thank you, by the way, everyone who supports this show, supports what I do. Please do. If you want to support for like $6, $7 a month, please join up at leecamp.net or reallycamp.substack.com. But Mint Press, the great indie outlet, does some of the best pro-Palestine, anti-Israel coverage you're going to find online. Alan McLeod is there. Low Key is there at Mint Press. And I was there for a year. Ultimately, it didn't work out. More scheduling than anything. I still love what Mint Press does. And I loved working for them when I did. Anyway, they're under attack by Indiegogo. They have raised, and Mint Press does this almost every year. They need to, in order to find their funding, because they're so suppressed and everything, they need a big fundraiser. They basically need to do an Indiegogo or something like that. I think they used to do one of the others, but then that one stopped allowing them to do fundraisers. So now they're on Indiegogo. And Indiegogo now refusing to give them the $50,000 that they have raised in their fundraiser. Thanks, Momo, for supporting the show. Throwing in a couple of bucks. Really appreciate it. Refusing to give them. This has already raised money. Like, this is already, people have already donated. Indiegogo has canceled our fundraising campaign and will not provide us with the $51,000 payout that we raised through the fundraising platform for our campaign. Help keep Mint Press alive. Their reason, our project did not meet their guidelines, which of course is utter bullshit because Indiegogo, all of these things, they decide that before you start the fundraiser. Like, they don't wait till you're done with the fundraiser and then go, oh, never mind. No, that type of thing, whether you are a scam artist or something, is decided before you begin the fundraiser. So it is bullshit for them to wait till the fundraiser is essentially over and then go, oh, never mind. Mint Press continues, this is an unacceptable reasoning that we were provided with only today, nearly 3 months after our campaign ended in October. Oh, I forgot that part. I didn't realize it ended that long ago. I have been trying to get our payout from Indiegogo since the campaign ended. In addition, Mint Press has used Indiegogo to raise funds to support our journalism projects for nearly a decade. Indiegogo did say that all donations will be refunded back to the donors. But here's the thing, though, when you do a campaign like that, and I was part of one of Mint Press's campaigns exactly like this. I was one of the spokespeople for it. It was a couple of years ago, two and a half years ago. I was one of the spokespeople for it. And when you do that, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of, reaching out to all the folks you can reach out to, explaining to them why it's important. It's like a part-time job to do one of those fundraisers. It's a big fucking deal. And to go through all of that work and months of effort and have people throw in $51,000 and then being told, never mind, it is such a sucker punch. But then on top of that, all that work could have gone to a fundraiser that would have worked, so and you're then at an organization that's not funded anymore. Like it is like a three-way punch to the face to have something like this happen. And of course, there's no legitimate reason that Indiegogo is giving for why they're doing this to Mint Press. This is by design. It's done to Mint Press. It's done to me. It's done to those of us who are independent voices who are actually speaking out against this monstrous war machine. Like, part of the technique, part of it is shadow banning. Part of it is full-on censoring. I'm working on a Substack article now about the kind of details, just all of the censoring I face. But part of it is not just to stop your reach, to stop Mint Press from getting out there. One of the problems with my work at Mint Press was their YouTube channel is as censored, if not more suppressed than my newer channel. My old channel's been deleted from the face of the earth, but is as censored. And so it was kind of like I came to Mint Press to try and help them build their YouTube presence, and nothing we could do got any traction because YouTube wasn't telling anyone about it. Thank you, Tommy, for supporting the show. Really appreciate you throwing in a couple of dollars. But part of the way of doing this is to starve the funding from. I mean, funding is oxygen if you're at an independent. Unfortunately, I wish this wasn't the world we lived in, but It's oxygen if you're at an independent news outlet. You need to pay journalists. You need to pay videographers. You need to pay social media people. You need to pay all of these people to make this thing run. And if there's no funding, obviously you can't do that. And so part of the way of crushing these outlets, and specifically we've seen a big push against anybody who tells the truth about Gaza, which Mint Press, and you've seen by the stories that I bring you from them, Mint Press, one of the best outlets to bring you the truth about Gaza. They do an amazing job. Alan McLeod is one of my favorites, and they can't do it. And that's by design. If I had to guess, I'd say there is like a very high percentage chance that Israel-aligned people pressured Indiegogo, possibly created campaigns, maybe even bot campaigns, where Indiegogo, the corporate headquarters, are flooded with emails to stop Mint Press's fundraising. And I would imagine that Indiegogo just caved to, well, there's a lot of people saying that this is a terrorist outlet, so let's just not give them their money. Really is fucking infuriating. So, I'm bringing this up because it's a news story. I'm bringing it up because it's important. And I'm also bringing it up because you guys could help raise the alarm, tweeting at Indiegogo and tagging Mint Press would help, not just on Twitter, but on Instagram. I know that's another prevalent place for this. Instagram, Facebook, all those places. Maybe Indiegogo will see the pressure that is mounting against them for doing this. I don't know. But, and obviously you can, I don't know if Mint Press has already posted a new place you can donate, but that's another way to support them. As long as we're on this topic of censorship, etc., I might as well say I have been doing a fundraiser through the end of the year. I'm trying to gain 100 new subscribers, either at Substack, Locals, or Patreon. And if you are not one of those people who's already signed up, I'd love for you to at least consider it. If you sign up for a year at Substack, then it's $6.60, I think, $6.60 a month, which is, 2 cups of coffee. I was on, I went to New York. I was on Amtrak and, other places. And unfortunately, I am addicted to coffee, so I have to get my coffee. So it's a nothing coffee, like a nondescript, this big coffee is now $3.50. That seems to be the average in New York City on Amtrak, $3.50 for your 8 sips of coffee. I didn't realize, I know maybe this makes me old. I didn't realize that had become the norm. I knew, anywhere you can go, you can find $3 a cup of coffee or whatever. But, because it's lavender scented and it was filtered through an angel's vagina or whatever they tell you on the menu. Whatever it is, you can, find a $17 cup of coffee. But I didn't know that like the normal brown piss in a cup was on average $3.50. But it is. So yes, you could sign up to support my show at Locals. That's leecamp.net. It'll take you straight there. You could sign up on patreon.com/leecamp, or you can sign up at Substack, realleecamp.substack.com. And my aim, I announced it a couple of weeks ago, my aim was to get 100 new subscribers. I think we're down to somewhere between, I need 40 or 35 more people to sign up. And for just a couple of days, someone has offered to double you'd have a double impact if you signed up. They're doubling any subscribers, not the full year, but for the month. So if you sign up in the next couple of days, you will double your how much you help this show. You can sign up at realleecamp.substack.com. Okay, like I said, trying to get tons of stories in here. So let's keep going. I just want to throw this out there. So that the Brown University shooter, and they also think he's the guy who killed another professor, killed an MIT professor, I think. They found him, or they found his body, actually. And, they're fairly certain they got this guy. And here's the only reason, you can watch that on CNN, but here's the only reason I'm covering this is because this is being used to push this horrific dystopian surveillance system, which I knew this would happen. There was no doubt. Just give it enough time. The system is called Flock. I did a whole segment on it on Unredacted Tonight like a month ago. Flock Safety. as in what the flock are they doing to us? Are we supposed meant to have any flocking privacy anymore? No. Why would we? That's ridiculous. It's used to monitor license plates, but obviously it doesn't just monitor license plates of the bad guys. It monitors license plates of everybody. And so they've got these articles, pushing it like crazy now, where it's like, we're catching serial killers. We caught the guy. The police were able to use flock to find out where the guy went, and they caught him. And now, prior to this, it was also, or it continues to be to this day, also used to track people who are getting abortions, to track a woman who is exercising her right to choose, because the right wingers in this country are trying to get it back to a time where you get pregnant and you try and drink turpentine in a back alley. They're hoping. Fingers crossed, soon we'll be back there, folks. Just chug some turpentine, hope it does the job. So it's been used to track people seeking an abortion. It's been used to track immigrants for ICE. And for those people who are like, I ain't doing nothing wrong. I don't give a shit. Fucking follow me all you want. At what level would it have to get before you'd be upset about it? Like, if the next thing were that just a guy follows you around at all times, you never get to speak to him. He's just behind you. And again, that would help catch serial killers, right? If just a dude. If everybody had a dude that was always 5 paces behind them, dude, you would catch every serial killer. Who could argue with that? You would catch every pedophile if you just had a guy 5 feet behind every single human in America. Like, should we be upset about that? At what level? If they put video cameras like in every room, there's government mandated video cameras. You can't mess with them. They're in that bulletproof glass, so you can't even bang them with a hammer. Just in every room of every house and every apartment, just up there watching you. Oh my God, that would stop all the pedophiles, all the spousal abuse, all the serial killers, all the murder. Stop everything. Would you be down with that? Cool. Video camera, every room. I mean, it's so infuriating because you know exactly how they're going to sell this shit. With each new invasion of privacy, it's like we caught the pedophiles, when they're breaking your iPhone and hacking into it to watch you, when the CIA, we now know, watches you through your smart TV, even when it's not on. With each one of these new invasions of privacy, they just go, we caught the bad guy with it. Look at that. It's like, really? Really? You know where this literally will go. I get it's not there yet for the most part, but literally the fucking chip in the hand, we're getting there. Okay? I mean, I covered this years ago. There are actually companies that offered the employees to voluntarily get the chip injected into the hand. I think a Swedish company was one of the first to do it. And so the employees could just wave their hand in front of the locked doors and they would open, and they could wave their hand in front of the vending machine and get a fucking Three Musketeers. And it's so convenient. Yeah. And you're tracked everywhere. You can't do anything. I mean, if you got a chip in your hand, then the people watching the chip movements, they're going to know when you're jacking it. Okay? I think that's all. We all knew that's where it comes down to eventually. Because they're going to see that chip going back and forth very furiously. And they're going to go, well, clearly Sammy in accounting is jacking it. Oh, what level of invasion of privacy is too much? Is there like any level where Americans aren't dumb enough to go, it's stopping the pedos, it's stopping the serial killers? All right, next story. Like I said, we're plowing through them. I love when we have pathetic trolls in the comment section. It's nice to know, because when you have pathetic trolls in the comment section, it means you're actually being shown to people that are not just your biggest fans, which I rarely get these like unhinged, off their meds trolls in the comment section, and the reason is because they're not showing to anyone who doesn't already love my content, which is what social media is supposed to allow your stuff to organically grow, which means people could see it even if they don't love you. But anyway, so I just saw that we had one of those gone a little light on the meds this week trolls in the comment section. Anyway, let's keep going. Donald Trump has admitted it publicly, and there's certain levels of admission that you gotta say, well, at least Donald Trump telling us the truth. He has admitted that basically that the whole we're stopping the drugs in Venezuela is bullshit. He has admitted that we are not, it has nothing to do with stopping drug cartels. And by the way, they've floated 48 different reasons for why they need to attack Venezuela, destabilize Venezuela. Oh, Hezbollah's there, Hamas is there, Al-Qaeda's there. There's not enough democracy, even though we don't have democracy at all, but they don't have democracy. Anyway, he has now gotten closer to the actual real reason. He said to reporters as he was speaking to them at the Joint Base Andrews, he said, quote, they, meaning Venezuela, took it, meaning the oil, took the oil away because we had a president that maybe wasn't watching. So that's a criticism of Biden, although this goes back to the Bush years. So I don't know if he was referring to Bush or Biden or Obama, but it doesn't matter. We had a president that wasn't watching, but they're not going to do that again. We want it back, quote unquote. We want it back. They took our oil rights. We had a lot of oil there. As you know, they threw our companies out. We want it back. I think you couldn't be clearer than that. We are getting closer to the real reason that the U.S. is trying to commit war on Venezuela. We've already been committing economic war on them for a long time. We've tried to coup them multiple times. And now Trump is saying we want our oil back. See, the problem with Venezuela, they put their fucking country on top of our oil, okay? Been saying this for years. They had the nerve to put their country on top of our oil. And Trump has said it clearly, we want our oil back. They're over top of it. That's why we're invading them. That's why we're trying to bomb them, or we are bombing their fishermen. That's why we're trying to coup them. That's why Trump said he's unleashing the CIA in Venezuela. We want our oil back. Now, I always like to give you the deeper reason that even Donald Trump won't admit to you. The deeper reason is that the U.S. empire is faltering, it's collapsing slowly, deflating like a what's the name? What's the name of the type of bread that deflates? Oh man, analogy gone wrong. But it's deflating, and in order to continue to have the U.S. empire and the petrodollar, we need a replacement for Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is still mainly selling oil in dollars, U.S. dollars, but they're not adhering to it as much as they used to. They did not re-sign the petrodollar deal. And we are seeing a de-dollarization around the world. The percent of countries holding their money in U.S. dollars as the global reserve currency has decreased heavily. So thank you, Firepower. Souffle is what I was collapsing like a souffle. Anyway, we are the power of the petrodollar is waning, so we need a replacement for Saudi Arabia. What better replacement than the country with the most oil in the world? Okay, so Trump just said the quiet part loud. Maduro has stated that despite Trump's using the military to actually steal oil tankers, you've seen that footage of the U.S. dropping soldiers onto a Venezuelan oil tanker and stealing the oil. Venezuela's Maduro says Trump's comments on land and oil reveal his true motives. And Maduro has stated they will continue their oil trade despite Trump's efforts to steal their oil and lay siege to the country. Maduro said, quote, "It is simply a warmongering and colonialist pretense, and we have said so many times, and now everyone sees the truth. The truth has been revealed. The aim in Venezuela is regime change to impose a puppet government that wouldn't last 47 hours, that would hand over the Constitution, sovereignty, and all the wealth, turning Venezuela into a colony. It will simply never happen," he continued. And he's actually speaking from real history that it wouldn't last 47, 48 hours because as I covered yesterday on Government Secrets, if you haven't checked out my other podcast, please do, Government Secrets, the 2002 U.S. coup on Venezuela lasted less than 48 hours. They kidnapped Chavez. They took him to a military base. Chavez said they were nearly going to execute him. And the people of Venezuela stood up, fought back. Chavez got his position back. The coup lasted only a few hours. So there you go. Maduro saying that would happen again if they were able to bring down his government in some way. Maduro says from ABC News they will continue the oil trade after Trump's blockade announcement. So they are not giving in. Let's see where I had one more thing on Venezuela. Oh yeah, the other accusation is that Venezuela is what was behind a hack of U.S. voting. This is another accusation they've been pushing, and this is a good article from popularresistance.org detailing every voting tech hack Washington has blamed on Venezuela was invented in Ohio. Everything they're blaming on Venezuela in terms of voting hacking is bullshit. And there's this great timeline. This is from Bev Harris. Bev Harris I've been covering her work. I may have even had her as a guest on Redacted Tonight one time, but I've been covering her work for years and years. She's one of the only people who's really made it her mission to just cover how garbage our fake voting system is for years and years, way before Donald Trump came to office. But anyway, here is the CIA myth versus the Bev Harris reality, including the years. And let's see. Year 2000, Hugo Chavez is still consolidating power. Florida punch card crisis. You, of course, remember that one if you're old enough, which was the Gore-Bush election where they sat there recounting every floating, hanging Chad on the Florida punch cards, which was completely stolen by Bush. I mean, if you actually read what happened, they shut down the counting because they knew where it was going. They knew Gore was going to win. But anyway, Florida punch card crisis, 175,000 undervotes decided the presidency. ES&S machines, voting machines, already subtracting votes in real time. That was in 2000. So you can't blame that on Venezuela. It had nothing to do with Venezuela. 2002, Chavez beginning to plan fraud software is what they have claimed. Harris discovers robgeorgia.zip on the Diebold servers. Diebold, one of the main voting systems, a patch that overwrites vote databases 2 years before the Venezuelan recall referendum. January 2003, Smartmatic, which is a current voting system, doesn't even have a Venezuelan contract yet. Harris downloads 40,000 unrestricted Diebold files. This is in Florida, including full GEMS source code. Johns Hopkins and Rice confirm buffer overflows and remote access. August 2004, Chavez supposedly steals the recall referendum. Harris's book, Black Box Voting, is published, documenting 100 plus U.S. miscounts using the exact same GEMS code Washington later blames on Venezuela. December 2005, Venezuela perfecting the memory card hacks, quote unquote. Harris films Leon County, Florida hack for HBO. I saw this HBO show a long time ago, several years ago, but it shows it shows that these systems can be hacked. It also shows fractional voting, which means these votes are not always counted as a full one. Like when you vote, it should be one vote for someone, right? She actually has documented that at times you could be voting and it says 0.9 for someone. Well, obviously, over 1 million votes, over 100,000 votes, that changes the results in a massive way. If every vote for, I don't know, let's just say Gore Bush, but every vote for Gore is a 0.9, every vote for Bush is a 1.0, well, that changes the votes immensely. 2006, Smartmatic still running tiny pilots in Venezuela. HBO's Hacking Democracy airs to 20 million Americans, showing every trick that Washington later attributes to Chavez. It already existed, and yet later we said it was Chavez's fault. 2016, Venezuelans invent fraction magic. That's the accusation. Bev Harris releases an 8-part fraction magic report plus live video using only U.S.-made GEMS 1.18.19. Votes split to the 1,000th and moved invisibly across precincts. 2017, Venezuela drops Smartmatic after the company refuses to disable audits. Smartmatic publicly accuses the Maduro regime of manipulating the results, the exact opposite of the CIA story. 2020, Venezuela flips, quote unquote, flips Georgia, Arizona, and Michigan. That's the accusation, that Venezuela flipped those states. Georgia, however, hand recounts 5 million paper ballots. The machine tally is within 0.1%. No foreign code ever found. So completely bullshit. 2023, Venezuelan code still inside Dominion software was the accusation. Delaware Superior Court rules the claim false on its face. Fox News pays $787 million because of the Smartmatic lawsuit, meaning Fox claiming that Smartmatic was hacked or was fake or was rigged or whatever. They couldn't prove it, and so they were had to pay $787 million for lying about that. 2024 to 2025, Bernsen promises, quote, source code proof to the Department of Justice. 0 lines of code have been produced. DOJ quietly shelves the case after internal review. So all of these accusations against Venezuela, utter horseshit. And in fact, all of the software that can be hacked or has been hacked or shows fractional voting, it was all evident and proven by Bev Harris and others way before the accusations against Venezuela. Anyway, it's all laughable. But I thought that was a good rundown. Okay, let's switch to another topic. Finally, Trump does something positive. Accidentally, of course. But he did something I don't know if it's accidentally, but he did something positive. And I'll get into the negatives of surrounding it in a moment as well. But let's at least talk about the positive. Trump has ordered cannabis down to a Schedule 3, changed to a Schedule 3 drug from Schedule 1, which is Schedule 1's on the level of like the most dangerous, like heroin. And now it's down to Schedule 3, which is down with certain things, I think, like Tylenol with codeine and stuff. But I mean, I think marijuana should be on the level of beer, but still, marijuana rules. I don't know if New York Times was stating that marijuana rules. I think maybe not. Knowing what I know about the New York Times, I think they might have been saying these are the new marijuana rules, but who knows? You know, maybe they were just being rad. Marijuana rules. President Trump signed an executive order on Thursday to downgrade cannabis from the most restrictive category of drugs like heroin, which would facilitate medical research. But it did not legalize marijuana, as some states have. Mr. Trump also authorized, he does not deserve a mister. If there's one fucking psychopath in the world that doesn't deserve a mister, it's Donald motherfucking Trump. Trump also authorized a pilot program to reimburse Medicare patients for products made with CBD, a popular non-psychoactive compound of cannabis. Now, that is great. I'd be surprised if anyone watching this thinks that wasn't a good idea to no longer have cannabis as a Schedule 1 drug. Absolutely. Took way too long. Fucking insane it took this long. and to allow simply to allow the research for everything that can be done with marijuana and hemp and everything else. Here are the other sides of this, which is Trump is still a fucking lunatic locking people up for drugs. Okay, let's remember that. Like the vast majority of people in prison in the United States, it is for drug or drug-related crimes. It's like 80% nonviolent. We have the largest prison state in the world, and Trump is not changing that. Now, this is great that he did this, but let's remember, he is not like pro-drug or pro-freedom to do what you want to your own body or any of those things. I don't know who talked him into doing this. Obviously, it's way overdue. But let's just remember, still a lunatic when it comes to punishing people for drugs. Second thing we should point out, which is instead of just going after Trump, let's also go after the Democrats. How insane do the Democrats have to be to have left this for a giant win for Donald Trump? How many people across this country are probably, God forbid Trump's runs for another term, but thinks he can run for another term, but are voting for Trump or Trump's stooges, Trump's minions, simply because of this? They go, hey, he changed the cannabis rules, so that's my guy. And this shows how fucking pathetic the Democrats are. The fact that they allowed this as a giant win for Donald Trump. The fact that through Obama and Biden and Clinton and all of them, maybe not Biden, but I mean, he was hopped up on all other kinds of prescription pills and shit. So, I mean, the fucking chemical cocktail swishing around in Biden's head. Don't tell me he's opposed to drugs. But then you've got Obama, who admitted doing marijuana. I think he also admitted doing cocaine. You got Bill Clinton, who said he didn't inhale famously, right? We all believe that one. So these people smoked weed. Oh, and one of the harshest anti-weed people, Kamala Harris, locking people up in California for weed. When she was asked if she ever smokes weed, she just cackled maniacally and wouldn't answer. So these people all smoked weed and yet didn't do just about anything to protect people who smoked weed. Or did any kind of cannabis. It's so fucking hypocritical, pathetic, sacks of shit. The fact that they left this for Donald Trump to make the change is just so pathetic. It shows what the Democrats are. It shows how spineless they are. But yeah, just, of course, this should have happened years ago. All right, flying through the stories. Although don't forget, I'm still trying to get 35 more people by the end of the year. We got 10 days left or a little more to join up at reallycamp.substack.com. I'm being honest here. I probably won't have the means to keep Unredacted Tonight going without more subscribers. So I'm hoping to get 35 more by the end of the year over at reallycamp.substack.com. If you want to be part of the locals community, you could join up over there at leecamp.net. It'll take you straight there. Then scroll down to become a supporter. If you click become a member, I think it just signs you up for free, which is not the paid supporter kind of thing. But let's see. I'll put the reallycamp.substack.com. I put up 2 columns this week as well. We might get to one of them I want to cover, but on this show, but maybe not. Running short on time with all these stories. But yeah, really hoping for 35 more by the end of the year. So if you want to see Unredacted Tonight, keep going. It would be amazing if you could sign up. Obviously, you could cancel after a month. You could cancel after 2 months. If you did that, you would have thrown a whopping, $8 or $16 to the cause. So would be really cool though if you're at your end of the year giving and you're like, hey, I'm gonna donate 100 to this other org. Maybe I'll throw 8 to reallycamp.substack.com. That would be amazing. Okay, let's keep going here. Plowing through them because I want to get to all this. Texas is refusing to explain why it's compiling a list of trans residents. And in these fascist times, we can make some guesses. We can make some guesses as to, I put the T in there for Texas, okay? That's why I did that. Putting the T into guest. We can make some guesses as to why they're compiling this list of trans residents. Nothing good, nothing positive. I'm going to give you a little guess of my own that it's not to send them a Christmas gift. Like, just some maybe like a gift certificate to Burger King, or like maybe some earmuffs for the cold Texas winter, or maybe a beer koozie to keep their beer warm in the summertime. I mean, cold in the summertime. Maybe that's why they want that list of trans residents. No, it's because they're fucking fascists, and who knows what they're going to do with it, but nothing good, nothing positive. Texas is reportedly collecting the names and details of its trans residents who attempted to update their license information from August 2024 to 2025. And obviously, the reason they'd go after those who update their license is because that's the time where you can legally see the person has said, I'm changing my gender. The reason they're not going after everyone is because, or I'm changing how I identify. Because people can say that all the time, but there's no paperwork. They don't have it's not easy to find data on who changed how they identify. But when you change your driver's license, they can go, there it is. We got you. We know that you changed how you identify. They're refusing to provide a legitimate reason why, which is, as this article says, terrifying, anti-democratic, and quite creepy. According to the Texas newsroom, a coalition of 5 public radio stations across the Lone Star State, the list has more than 100 names on it, all of which were collected by workers at the Department of Public Safety and sent to a special email account that was created to compile the data. This email account started collecting data after the DPS claimed it would stop complying with requests for sex marker updates on licenses, and told its workers to forward any requests for such to the address in question with the subject line, sex change court order. Paxton, that's the Texas, I think, Attorney General or something, and Governor Abbott still haven't explained why the state would, for whatever reason, be collecting the names and details of trans people. Texas is home to more than 2 million LGBTQ people, and according to data obtained last year by Every Texan, that's the name of an organization, not Every Texan. According to the data we got from Every Texan, no, that's the name of, I guess, an outlet or something. More than 92,000 trans adults live in the Lone Star State. So when you hear about this country going after trans people, don't think it's a small number. It's a large number. There are hundreds of thousands of trans people in America, and they deserve to be human beings at the same level all of us do. And so there's fucking no reason to track them and trace them and see if you can get them fired from their jobs. And anybody who can't understand their humanity, well, you're a fucking bigot and possibly a sociopath. I suppose, those in the ruling elite are sociopaths, but there's some who are probably just miseducated as to how to treat fellow human beings. That's the nicest way we can put it, right? Okay, let's keep moving. Elon Musk's, and this goes under the category of quickly becoming the most dangerous man alive. Elon Musk now has $677 billion. This has jumped up from $400 billion just a few months ago. A few months ago, like 2 months ago, he was tied. He actually lost the ranking of richest person in the world for a moment to Larry Ellison, the pro-Israel psychopath. I mean, they're both pro-Israel, but Larry Ellison has been working harder to make sure this genocide can continue unabated. Thank you, Wintry Jasmine, for supporting the show. It means a lot. Peace on earth and goodwill towards you as well. But this amount has jumped up to $677 billion because of Tesla's stock. Tesla's stock went down precipitously when Elon Musk was running around saying fascist things and doing Sig Heils on stage, etc. Tesla had a really rough few quarters, but now they've bounced back. I mean, they're kind of what's called a meme stock anyway, which means the stock amount does not fit the amount of things they sell at all. Toyota makes 10 times as many cars as Tesla does, or sells 10 times as many cars, and yet Tesla is worth like 4 times as much. Or no, I don't know. It's 4 times as much as Toyota, but they make they're worth as much as the following 4 big car makers combined. So completely outpacing the reality of what they make or what they do. But anyway, a caveat before we discuss what it means to have $677 billion and how sociopathic it is and how fucking harmful it is and how terrifying it is to have anyone with that much money. I should add a caveat in here, which whenever you're discussing this, you should also remember that is not in dollars. That is in stock. Stock is a Ponzi scheme. Stock is kind of meaningless until you sell it, and then it's in dollars. So Elon Musk, yes, he's worth $677 billion if you count his Tesla stock and the stock of other companies he owns. But if he were to sell all of his Tesla stock, first of all, I think he has an agreement with the company where he can't actually do that. Like, it's not legal. He's not allowed to. I think there's multiple reasons he can't. But furthermore, if he were to do that, Tesla would collapse. Like, the stock would become worth pennies overnight, because if he were to try and sell it all, people would assume that means the company's worthless. Anyway, so he can't actually have six. He has. I always said that because stock is not money until it's money, until you sell it. I always said that if you really want to understand how this works, there should be a different word for it. Like, Elon Musk has $30 billion in cash, and he's got $640 billion in, not dollars, it's 640 billion padoodles. Like, we should give it another name, because it's not dollars. It's not dollars until it's dollars. And of course, this gets into the deeper reality of understanding what the stock market is, understanding that it's a Ponzi scheme, understanding that it works, understanding that some of it is kind of in our minds. But all of that said, I don't want to get bogged down in that. I also want to talk about $670 billion and what it could do in this society, in our world. And so I did a few back of the napkin calculations here real quick. 600, I even just rounded off $7 billion, which because we don't want to exaggerate. So I just said $670 billion. Okay. It would take, in order to give clean water to the world for a year, the estimates are it would cost $37.6 billion a year. Clean water is dirty water is the number one killer of humans around the world. Okay. The ramifications of it. And so to save all of those people, $37 billion a year, Elon Musk could do that for almost 18 years. He could do it for 17 years and still be worth billions of dollars. 17 fucking years of clean water for all of humanity. How many human beings would he save? He would save 24 million lives if he did that for 17 years. 24 million lives. And he's not going to do it for 1 year, not for a second, not for a minute, not even in his list of considerations, not even on his bucket list. He ain't doing it for a second. 24 million lives. Okay, let's go down to housing humans that are homeless in America. I just stuck to in America for this next one. The last one was around the world. It would cost, it's estimated to cost $15.6 billion to house every homeless person in America. Now, the truth is, if you actually get deeper into numbers, you actually save money by housing all the human beings because you aren't paying all the costs of emergency rooms and other emergency costs. So states actually save money when they provide a small apartment to anyone who's chronically homeless. But let's ignore that for a moment and just look at the just the number that it would cost to give an apartment to every homeless person. $15.6 billion. Elon Musk could do that for 43 years. For probably the rest of his life, he could make sure there's not a single homeless person in America. And he won't. Not for a second, not for a minute, not for a month would he house every homeless person. I've also talked a lot about how the fact that there's 17 million empty homes across America. You could literally you could give 17 homes to every single homeless person. My old stand-up bit was, okay, I don't want to give 17 empty homes to every homeless person. That's insane. We're not going to do that. How about just one? How about just one empty home to every homeless person? How about two? Well, let's say two. Two empty homes for every homeless person. Okay, one more example of what Elon Musk could do with $670 billion. And by the way, I should also throw in here, this is how capitalism works. It extracts money, gives it to the tiniest number of human beings. We have more billionaires than ever. And specifically gives it to a tiny number at the top of the list of billionaires. So that those richest of rich get richer and richer. So Elon Musk has gone from having a few $1 billion to having hundreds of $1 billion to having $670 billion. I mean, he's gone from 200 billion like a few years ago to 670 billion. That's just in the past 2 years or something. And that's how capitalism works. The people who are the richest get rich quicker and by crazier margins every year. Bill Gates, I looked this up the other day. Bill Gates was the richest guy in the world in the year 2000. And how much money did Bill Gates have? It was like $200 billion. No, I'm wrong. I'm even overestimating. I think it was actually like $60 billion. And now the richest guy has 600 billion. It's totally unhinged. Thank you so much, Woodlock. Oh, Emma Woodlock, for donating and supporting the show. Canada really representing today. The Americans just not helping me out today. You guys, come on, man. You're gonna be beat by Canada? Seriously? That's how you insult both Americans and Canada in the same sentence. Really, Americans? What are you, fucking pathetic? You're gonna be beat by Canada? But Emma, thank you so much for supporting the show. Emma says, to go towards your favorite Hanukkah bush. I'm not going to detail it, but it was this girl I got with like 5 Hanukkahs ago. She had my favorite Hanukkah. Oh, you meant, different kind of Hanukkah. Okay, different Hanukkah bush. Sorry about that, everybody. I thought you were saying something else. Okay, so last one on what Elon Musk could do for the world and never fucking would. About 580,000 people die per year from malaria in Africa. And that's 95% of everyone who dies from malaria around the world. So most malaria is Africa. 579,000 a year die from malaria. The estimate is to basically end malaria in Africa, it would cost $8.7 billion a year. Elon Musk could eliminate malaria for the next 77 years, way past his lifespan. He could eliminate, and by then, I'm sure we'd have the cure. So he could basically eliminate malaria forever. Which, I mean, not just the cure, but by then we'd, have a way where it's like, You have one emergency malaria pill or something or injection, and you're done with malaria forever. So he could eliminate malaria for years and years, 77 years. And how many lives would he save over that 77 years? Over 44 million lives. Elon Musk could do that alone. Never would. Never. Not for a second. Not happening. Because he is a psychopath, and you're not going to get $600 billion without being a psychopath. You have to be a psychopath in this system in order to run roughshod over everybody, over their rights, over regulations, over all of it. And the winners of capitalism are always going to be sociopaths. Always. Okay, I'm running out of time, and I'm going to bring an extra segment to everybody at Locals, but I'm going to do one more segment here. Let's talk about how RFK Jr., and I'm filing this under, how did I miss this? I really should have segments. If I had a producer, if I had enough money to have a producer on this show, I would have segments where, such as, how did I miss this? I'd have them every show. Instead, I just have them on some shows. But this is the how did I miss this segment. It happened a month ago. Prior to a month ago, I covered that news conference. Do you remember the Oval Office news conference where RFK Jr. and Donald Trump said, "We've found the cause of autism. It's Tylenol. It's pregnant women." They're so fucking stupid. It's pregnant women taking Tylenol. That's what they said. Even though RFK Jr. has not said any of that he's been talking about autism for years. Never mentioned Tylenol, only, as far as I know, mentioned vaccines over and over again. But then decided it was Tylenol. So they have this big, grand Oval Office announcement. We did it. Don't take Tylenol. We'll stop autism. I know he didn't say it would cause all autism, but he said it caused a lot of autism. Tylenol. Now, I made fun of this back when it happened for multiple reasons. One, there are almost no studies, practically no studies, showing that Tylenol causes autism. Two, Tylenol is just one brand of acetaminophen. Donald Trump cannot pronounce the word acetaminophen. He tried at one time in the press conference and literally said, "How do you pronounce that?" and couldn't get it right. But that aside, him not knowing how to pronounce the thing he's having a big news conference about, that aside, they said Tylenol about 30 times in that news conference, even though there are like 200 kinds of acetaminophen. There's Bayer, there's off-brand, there's, grocery stores have their own brand of acetaminophen. They're all making money off acetaminophen, and it's not all Tylenol. But the reason they said it was Tylenol is because A, Trump can pronounce it, and B, it's a lot easier to tell Americans don't take Tylenol than don't take this word you can't pronounce. Which is bullshit. That's bullshit science. It's bullshit announcement. It's bullshit PR. It's all bullshit. And then, as you look into it, literally there's like one or two bad studies about, like, they didn't cover enough people. They weren't long-term enough, et cetera, that maybe showed a possible linkage. But if you talk to scientists and doctors, there's not actually any good evidence that Tylenol causes autism. So I'm putting this under the how did I miss this? Because I didn't realize that, like, within not very long of that news conference, grand Oval Office news conference, like, those don't happen a lot. You don't get together with a bunch of guys in a statement in the Oval Office and say a thing very often. Within a few days, RFK did a 180 and announced, this is a month ago, did a 180 and announced no sufficient evidence that it definitively causes autism. Which, for those of you who are RFK lovers and haven't looked into the fact that he just spouts nonsense and that he apparently loves genocide in Gaza, et cetera, for those of you who are RFK lovers, how does this not anger you? How does him making a grand announcement, doing a 180 later, not like, "Hey, idiot, why don't you do a little more research before you announce things?" Like, doesn't that piss you off if you're an RFK lover? How does it not piss you off that he says, you know, fast food is the root of all evil, and then he takes photos eating McDonald's with Donald Trump? How does that not piss you off? Like, his hypocrisy, besides his idiocy, his hypocrisy is just breathtaking. Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. said there is not sufficient evidence that Tylenol causes autism, softening warnings he and President Trump have repeatedly made to discourage the medicine's use by pregnant women and young children. And by the way, this is not saying eat fistfuls of Tylenol. Tylenol acetaminophen can be bad for you if you eat a lot of it. And I think we should be very careful with it, especially if you're eating a lot of it and drinking alcohol. You can die. I know someone, I wasn't friends with him. He was a friend of a friend, but I know someone who died. He died from liver failure at age like 30, like young, but he was alcoholic and he was popping Tylenol constantly. And you do those two things together, you will die. So this is not me saying RFK Jr. is an idiot does not mean go eat a fistful of Tylenol. Also, if you recall, Trump had these incredibly disgusting remarks to pregnant women during this news conference where he was like, you should tough it out. Ladies, tough it out. Yeah, Trump, have you given birth? Have you pushed a baby out your pee hole, Trump? And you don't have to correct. I know it doesn't come out the pee hole. It's funnier to say it that way. I don't need anyone correct him. Actually, Lay, it doesn't actually come out of the pee hole. Thank you. But anyway, it was just so, it was condescending and disgusting and pathetic and anti-women and anything and all of the things. And then, in RFK is doing a 180 about Tylenol. I think the real reason he did a 180 is because he was going to get sued, like, big time. There was going to be a massive lawsuit, like, asking him to basically prove these findings, and he can't do it. Anyway, that goes under the how did I miss it? But, yeah, I was just going to say that he also said in his statement, his never mind statement, should have been titled Never Mind. But he also said in his never mind statement that he said, we've said from the beginning that the causative association between Tylenol and during pregnancy is not sufficient to say it definitely causes autism. That is not really what you said during that news conference. Yeah, you didn't use the word definitely, but you certainly made everyone think Tylenol is causing autism, which is bullshit. Okay, folks, I am giving an extra segment over at locals, leecamp.net. You can even get a month for free, so you can go watch the extra segment. It's going to be on the Democrats and how they've fucking spineless, how they have decided they're not going to release the report showing what they did wrong last year. We'll get into that over at leecamp.net. Takes you straight to the locals page. You can get a free month by using the promo code LeeCampFree, all caps, when you go to checkout, if you want a month to check it out. But like I said, we're at the end of the year. I'm trying to get 35 new subscribers, either at LeeCamp.net, my locals page, or Substack, which is realleecamp.substack.com. I've put up 2 columns this week alone over at Substack. If you haven't checked them out, the latest one is on Sudan. Sudan is considered the worst humanitarian crisis in the world right now. I know you may go, well, what about Gaza? More people have been murdered by Israel in Gaza than the number of people that have died or been murdered in Sudan. However, the number of people impacted in Sudan is larger. It's like 15 million people, I believe, have fled their homes. So that's why it's considered the largest humanitarian crisis in the world right now. And my article is about the U.S. involvement, about how the U.S. has created this crisis. They wanted instability in Sudan. Sudan was on General Wesley Clark's list of 7 countries in 5 years that the U.S. was going to destroy. And so U.S. involvement. And by the way, you don't have to sign up to go read that column. So maybe just go read that column and decide while you're reading it if you want to support this show. realleecamp.substack.com. VC Nick, thank you. Yes, VC Nick mentioning that he signed up a month ago. And VC Nick, you can let everyone know. Do you feel like better now that you're signed up? Like, has it changed your life? Is it just like all the horizons have opened? No, maybe I'm trying to sell this too grand. maybe I should just say, are you happy you signed up? Let's just keep it at that. reallycamp.substack.com. I haven't looked at a calendar, so I know we got holidays coming up, but I believe I'll be back for a live stream Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. There's no more Unredacted tonight for the rest of this year. But if I can get these 35 subscribers, we will be back in the new year with Unredacted tonight. But yeah, I'll see you for the live stream Monday. Let's see. Loof asked if I need $2,000. I mean, I don't mind $2,000, but no, I didn't say I need $2,000. But if you're saying you're sitting on $2,000 and you want to know where to send it, sure, why not? Send it my way. All right. Next segment coming up for locals. Everybody else, I love you, but I'll bid you farewell. This segment will also be on Patreon if you're a